Hello there, Irene here. On this channel we usually talk about books, but today I want to talk about audiobooks. Today morning during breakfast I listened to the watching video of Stephen Fry talking about his experience narrating Harry Potter books. And one of the things that he talked about was how people listen to these books in different places. For example, one person told him that he was listening to Harry Potter and his narration while climbing Everest. That's fascinated me because though I never climbed Everest and never will, and never, I do lots of hideous tasks every day, like all of us, especially in USA. You do lots of driving all the time and waiting for your kids on different activities and driving some more. And almost all the time I have an audiobook with me. Some I like, some I don't like. And today I wanted to talk about, maybe not particular, though there will be a section like that, audiobooks that I liked, but also what I do like in my audiobooks, what I don't like, and how I prefer them. So yeah, let's talk about that. First of all, I want to tell that I started listening to audiobooks, I guess, before most of you. Yes, when I was a child, there were vinyl recordings of actors reading child books. I don't know were there like that in USA. I was born in USSR and then I was raised in Ukraine. Well, when I was kind of in high school, I say, they became very popular, these programs. I think they were initially programs for people with visibility problems, with disorders that can't see. These programs narrated text from the document to you. It was definitely illegal the way we used to read books, electronic books then there. But in Ukraine, I am not even sure there was like laws considering electronic book publishing, and there were just self-made translations of English books, French books, other books, and you could put file in this program and it will read it to you. It was kind of reading that my younger daughter's second grade teacher is calling robotic reading. So without exclamation points, without any mannerisms, it just word after word with periods and pauses during periods. It was not artistic, but still I could do stuff like, I don't know, cross-stitching or doing some homework or copying some paragraph from the textbook or doing dishes. Some tasks that they were boring to me, or I wanted to have something in my ears and music didn't do it for me at that time. So that was that. Later, I don't think audiobooks were that popular here in USA. There was definitely no Audible. But in Ukraine, again, as part of pirate things from the books, kind of illegal thing. Well, I think it was illegal, but it was not persecuted, so it was kind of fine. Everyone was doing it. People bought a book, read it aloud, record themselves and put it on the internet. And there were lots of people doing this, and there were some that, were popular for that and they were preferred or like readers. And like now I have Audible subscription and I have Spotify subscription and I use Libby a lot. So I take audiobooks from the library. And there are some series of books that I prefer to listen to. And so now I want to tell about 3 things that I like in my audiobooks and 3 things that I don't like in my audiobooks. Let's start what I do like. I really like when the author is reading the book himself or herself. They may be not the best performances, but that's definitely give me an additional layer of understanding what author put in this book, what he or she wanted to say with this book, what characters are supposed to sound like, and in terms of, like pure energy or character or something like that. My favorite books that I listened to read by authors, was Secret History by Donna Tartt. I highly, highly recommend Secret History by Donna Tartt, read by Donna Tartt. She's not the best performer, no, but she definitely knows a lot more about her characters than we do, and that any performer can knows. And her performance is just heartbreaking. She really feels for these people. She invented them. She made them. She made this story. Yeah, highly, highly recommend. Second author that I really like listening to is Neil Gaiman. Neil Gaiman is one of my favorite fantasy authors. I like his dark humor, I like his imagination, I like his fairy tale-like stories. When he is reading his books, especially when he is reading his books, when you listen to this performance, first of all, you understand, like, he can't hide which parts of the book are his favorites, which protagonists are his favorites. You can feel smile on his face when he is reading certain passages or narrated certain people. This is an additional joy to the book, listening to a person who really enjoys reading it, like really and truly enjoys reading it. I like Neil Gaiman's narration. I think he's a wonderful narrator, by the way. And I would prefer his narration to anyone else of his works. Same goes to Lemony Snicket. If you never listened to Lemony Snicket books narrated by Lemony Snicket, you should. Especially the singing parts and just the whole... Like, you feel these books differently. They, if you don't know, Lemony Snicket are like, I'd say, childhood horror thriller books about... It's a very sad story about three orphans and their misadventures. And it's told in this special way when the author is talking to kids directly, to readers, as they are very, very intelligent persons and they know much more than adults and they understand much better than adults. And even if the author is telling some stuff like explaining certain word or something like that, you have to feel this attitude to kids. It's really interesting to listen to his books reading by himself. Again, he has like morbid expression in reading. He is not doing voices very good, but I do enjoy listening to him reading his books much more. Another from this category is Lucy Worsley. I haven't tried the name and I forgot. Agatha Christie and Elusive Woman, the book that I read by her. I will put her name and her portrait down here. I'm so sorry, I literally forgot. But she's great. She's, she's TV star. And she's doing her presentation in the same witty and energetic way. Maybe even too energetic. She like pushing words into you. Which can be a little bit overwhelming, but she is great narrating this story. It gives you kind of additional layer of it. I also listened her Jane Austen book narrated by her, which was also great. So yeah, highly recommend. Then second thing that I like in my audiobooks, I really like classical fiction narrated by professional authors. I like, not author, professional actors. I do like to listen to classical literature more than I like to read it with my eyes. First of all, especially if we're talking about English literature, it's foreign language. For me, it's still foreign language after 10 years living in this country. And especially if we're talking about some dialects and old dialects, like in Wuthering Heights, for example, it's sometimes hard to me to understand what's going on. Or another example, one of my favorite audiobook is Going with the Wind. And if you ever read this book with your eyes, African American speech in there is written in this special way that you better understand when you pronounce it. So it was really hard for me to read it with my eyes, but very easy and actually great to listen to it because you can hear the dialect and the pronunciation. My favorite narrators are, of course, Juliet Stevenson and Richard Armitage, like everyone's. And third one, I really like when the book is kind of local. So if it is from foreign country, like I read a book, I don't remember the name of it, when they were about Chinese immigrants in America, and the names and the pronunciation and the things that going on was much better listened to than read to. The same now I'm reading the Decagon House Murders, and I began to listen to it as an audiobook. And though narrator is not very good, it still works for me better because I know now how to pronounce their names and their, regional landmarks and things like that. So yeah, that's the thing that I really enjoy. And my most favorite dialect to listen to is Irish. So every Irish book, the book is take place in Ireland, I will try to listen as an audiobook. I really like Irish accent, and it's a pleasure for me to listen to it. So any book by Tana French, for example, I will try to listen as an audiobook because it gives me this additional flavor that I can't produce myself in my head, because I can't produce Irish accent in my head even if I'm reading too. For example, Molly Murphy book by Rhys Bowen, this kind of interesting pronunciation works amazing for me. That's general rule, 3 things that I like in my audiobooks. Now 3 things that I don't like in my audiobooks. First, I told about already, this is, sorry for the word, smut or any explicit scenes with, body language and kind of talking during sex. I just can't stand when a narrator try to do it. I just can't. I can't listen to this book at all. So yeah, I kind of can read through it and then listen again from the other chapter. But for example, Sally Rooney, I would never listen to an audiobook. Never, ever. I just can't imagine myself doing that. This is first. Second, I really can't listen to books, to audiobooks with Russian names in it or Russian things, names, landmarks. I tried to listen to Bear Nightingale, Winter of the Witch trilogy, you know that one? I just can't. I began to laugh so hard because though they pronounce it definitely better than most English-speaking people, they're not pronounced it right. Never, ever. And it's just, sorry, it's laughable. And again, I understand when I'm trying to read aloud in Russian or Ukrainian book in English translation, I kind of don't know what to do with these letters because I can't read them in Russian. They pronounce different in English, but also I can't read them in English because I just can't. And I am really bad at listening for thrillers. Not mysteries, but thrillers. When it's like real danger and you kind of in fear for the protagonist, I can't listen to it. I became too nervous. Like, it's too suspenseful for me. I can't. So that's third thing that's a no for me. Now I wasn't just quickly, I tried to look through my audiobook catalog and, Libby and what I prefer to listen to and just talk through few of the books. Most of them are very common audiobooks preferences. But just, I want to talk about that. So, yeah, first of all, I really like to listen to Agatha Christie books narrated by Hugh Fraser. Hugh Fraser is a guy who was Hastings in Poirot mystery TV series. And he's a great narrator. I think he's better narrator than he's an actor. He's doing voices, and these voices are not cringy, even if they're woman voices. And he has this dignity in him, and he gives this dignity to a book. You feel really good listening to him, and it doesn't feel like you are inside the book. You just feel like a very intelligent, good person is reading a book for you, and it feels amazing. So some of the books are actually narrated by David Suchet, and this is the one who was playing Poirot. I think everyone knows that, but I still prefer Hugh Fraser. So this is my preferred now way to read Agatha Christie. I do not buy them. I took them from Libby, and I have a great time with each and every one of them. So yeah, this is my kind of main thing that I like to do. Also, by the way, one thing that I'm looking forward to, I just bought. Audible is doing new Agatha Christie narrations with full cast, with Peter Dinklage as Hercule Poirot. And I think he could be such an amazing Poirot in TV series. I really would like someone to do this. He's perfect for it. And I like, I'm so excited about this too. There is ABC Murders and Affair in Styles, and I'm just really looking forward to listen to them. Talking about mystery series, I really like Cormoran Strike mystery series narrated by Robert Glenister. Again, I prefer listen to it because of the narrator. He is doing a great, amazing job narrating Cormoran Strike's novels. I have to listen to Black in Card, and I know it's not a good audiobook to listen to, so maybe I will read that one with my eyes. But each and every other book I listened to mostly, and I just love it, and I prefer it this way. The same goes with Inspector Margamash series, but by Louise Penny. But this one is a little bit harder because there are two narrators. So first, I'd say 5 or 6 books were narrated by Ralph Cosham, and this is amazing performance. This is amazing narration. I love his voice. This is a Margamash for me forever and ever. But then he very sadly passed away. And there was the whole speech in one of the books. This is the last book narrated by him. Louise Penny did this speech at the end of the book. Sadly, he passed away. He meant so much for us. And now we choose a new actor. And this is Robert Bathurst. He is a great actor. He does a really great job narrating these novels. But it's not the same. And I really miss, first I just miss Ralph Cosham, and then I miss this French pronunciation of landmarks and names. I really miss that. So now I'm mostly reading, not listening to Armand Gamache series. One more book series that I really like audiobooks more than reading was Neapolitan Quartet by Elena Ferrante. It was narrated by Hilary Haber. I really don't know does she has any Italian heritage or not, but her pronunciation of all Italian names and again landmarks were amazing. And it gave this special flavor to these books because it's different from what I would read it in my head. Okay, and there are 2 other books that everyone is recommending as an audiobooks, and I will do the same. So when there is a podcast in the book, it's definitely better to listen to it than to read it with your eyes. Daisy Jones and the Six by Taylor Jenkins Reid is one example of that. This is a book kind of radio interviews gathered together, and it's definitely a great audiobook. It's a full cast narration, and they all give amazing performance, and it's much better than than read it with your eyes. And Good Girl's Guide to Murder is another example. This is a book also made as a podcast or maybe a series of recordings of different interviews, and this additional flavor of clicks and the of tape and everything like that gives additional layer to it. I really enjoyed listening to this in an audiobook. And now one more example of a book that a narrator gives kind of more to the book is Song of Ice and Fire by George Martin, narrated by Roy Dotrice. Roy Dotrice, I think he passed away also already, but I'm not sure about that. He narrated all the books that are now existing, and he gives this very special performance when he kind of is on the edge of the story. The story is gory and brutal and very frightening, and he's kind of telling it to us, not pulling us inside of the story. It's kind of you are near the fire with hot cocoa or something, and someone is telling you a folk tale, which is gruesome and frightening and dangerous thing happening in there. But you know that you are here and you are warm and safe. This gives the whole Song of Ice and Fire this kind of folklorish taste, which I really like. Now I want quickly, this is kind of the end of the video, I want to quickly talk about my two favorite audiobook experiences that I enjoy the most in last few years. First of them, my absolutely favorite audiobooks, absolutely favorite, are Harry Potter series narrated by Stephen Fry. I do think that he is a wonderful, absolutely wonderful narrator. All books narrated by him are really great. I listened to Chekhov by him, I listened to Dickens by him, Woodhouse, something else, but Harry Potter books are absolutely outstanding. He not only gives them voices, but he gives them character. He gives them kind of backstory in their voice. Their voices are so different. There are so many nuances in his performance, and it's magical. It gives you that magic that you first saw in the book when you opened it. It can fade when you read the same words over and over again, but it doesn't fade from his voice. I don't know why. I listened to these books maybe 10 times already, and they are just better and better every time. I kind of hear all little nuances and things that he's putting in these characters, and it's amazing. I enjoyed it very much. Highly recommend. And second, it was an interesting kind of story. There is this book, Tom Lake by Anne Patchett. I took it from the library last year. It was my favorite book, like I read it last year. And when I almost finished it, I had to return it to the library. But audiobook was available. So I took the audiobook to, kind of end of reading, and I listened from the very beginning. Tom Lake is narrated by Meryl Streep, who is definitely one of the best actresses ever lived. But this is the thing. Her narration and her interpretation of the main protagonist, it's so much different from mine. It was incredible. When I was reading this book, I don't know why, but I kind of put myself in the book. I can't say that I thought about the protagonist as myself, but definitely I was kind of related to her more. But Meryl Streep is so different, and she is so wholesome, and she is like a full embodied character. And you listen to her, and she's gorgeous. Like, this is a performance. This is the performance. This is kind of different book you're reading. I am not sure. I mean, I enjoy the experience, and I like to re-listen to this audiobook one day. But it was so different from my reading experience. This was the first and only time in my life when I thought, whoa, this is very different from what I thought I've read in this book. And it was interesting. So yeah, thank you for being here with my crooked voice. Thank you for listening to me, and I hope you'll have a great December. Bye.